Jayo Bhagavan Narayana, Jayo Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda,
Jayo Bhagavan Narayana, Jayo Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda,
Jayo Bhagavan Narayana, Jayo Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda,
Jayo Bhagavan Narayana,
Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana. Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Om Namo Narayanaya. Gurudev Namo.
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 Jaya Bhagavan Narayana. Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Gurudev Namo.
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 Jaya Bhagavan Narayana. Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana. Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana. Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda. Om Namo Narayanaya. Gurudev Namo.
Gurudev Namo.
Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda. Om Namo Narayanaya Gurudev Namo.
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 Jaya Bhagavan Narayana Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana Jaya Bhagavan Sri
Om
Vishwananda.
Namo Narayanaya Gurudev Namo.
Om 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 Namo Narayanaya Gurudev Namo.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Narayana Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Narayana Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Jaya Bhagavan Sri Vishwananda.
Om Avatara Shishaya Namaha Om Vishamaya Namaha Om Devakara Samudyataya Namaha Om Sukshmatanave Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Guru Murtaye Namaha Om Sundaraya Namaha Om Sulochanaya Namaha Om Sumukhaya Namaha Om Charvasaya Namaha Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Padmapujaya Namaha Om Mandagamanaya Namaha Om Charumbaradharine Namaha Om Ramaya Namaha Om Mandirastapakaya Namaha Om Shrivabarchakaya Namaha Om Gayatri Achvane Namaha Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namaha Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha Om Namo Naranayeti Mantropasakaya Namaha Om Swaramayaya Namaha Om Madhurakantaya Namaha Om Krishna Sankirtananolupaya Namaha Om Srotra Priyaya Namaha Om Mitabashine Namaha Om Vagmine Namaha Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namaha Om Vratadaraya Namaha Om Sadave Namaha Om Jagatpantaya Namaha Om Sarvalokaitaya Namaha Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha Om Surdaya Namaha Om Anukulaya Namaha Om Eyaya Namaha Om Sudarshanaya Namaha Om Bhakta Vatsalaya Namaha Om Premamurtaye Namaha Om Shubhekshanaya Namaha Om Pritivardhanaya Namaha Om Spastidayakaya Namaha Om Tarakaya Namaha Om Anugrahaya Namaha Om Vardhanaya Namaha Om Archityaya Namaha Om Artaya Namaha Om Siddhi Pradaya Namaha Om Janardhanaya Namaha Om Manoharaya Namaha Om Mahakshaya Namaha Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha Om Bhasma Bhushitaya Namaha Om Atmalingaya Namaha Om Minkacharana Prostahakaya Namaha Om Siddhi Sadanaya Namaha Sukshmaya Namah, Om Vishokaya Namah, Om Sattvikaya Namah, Om Samadarshine Namah, Om Dakshaya Namah, Om Achintyaya Namah, Om Niramkaraya Namah, Om Nirmohaya Namah, Om Avyagraya Namah, Om Jitakrodaya Namah, Om Vinayashilaya Namah, Om Svavashaya Namah, Om Kushalaya Namah, Om Shamaya Namah, Om Satyadharmaya Namah, Om Nirikalpaya Namah, Om Viraktaya Namah, Om Atindriyaya Namah, Om Satyasandhaya Namah, Om Pavitraya Namah, Om Madhurasvabhavaya Namah, Om Suranandaya Namah, Om Nandanaya Namah, Om Prasanatmane Namah, Om Bhaktanidaye Namah, Om Sakshaye Namah, Om Samatmaye Namah, Om Sadayogine Namah, Om Haraye Namah, Om Sutapaya Namah, Om Somyaya Namah, Om Bhuyaya Namah, Om Vimutatmaya Namah, Om Gabiraya Namah, Om Guptaya Namah, Om Atmaramaya Namah, Om Srinivasaya Namah, Om Devaya Namah, Om Dyutidaraya Namah, Om Danyaya Namah, Om Gurave Namah, Om Duratikramaya Namah, Om Gahanaya Namah, Om Bhagavate Namah, Om Manishana Margadarshakaya Namah, Om Kutasya Jakartakaya Namah, Om Abhiprayaya Namah, Om Sarvamatastamadhyaya Namah, Om Shamakata Bhavavardakaya Namah, Om Premavatara Shri Vishwananda Swamine Namah. Ato Deva Avantuno Yato Vishnu Vichakrame Pridivya Sapta Damapihi Idam Vishnu Vichakrame Treda Nidade Pada Samudamasya Pagam Sure Treni Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopa Ata Abhya Ato Dharmani Dharana Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vitani Paspashe Indrasya Yujasaka Tad Vishnu Padamam Padagum Sada Pashyanti Surayah Divi Vachakshura Tatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamindate Vishnuya Padamam Padam. Premavattaraya vidmahe Sadgurudevaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya vidmahe Sadgurudevaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya vidmahe Sadgurudevaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Bhurabhuvassaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvassaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्.
Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavare Narayana Chataka Vikrama Chakrapane Devyadi Sashadara Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Shabhavanasa Hare Murare Radesha Gopesha Shurupa Brahmadi Vandya Shri Dvarakashaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Kamote Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vinakrite Hamatarupa Varaha Murte Trivikramaya Guhane Brahmorama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parataresha Damodara Shadarananda Kadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Samrita Dina Bandhu Gopi Jana Priyaraye Tava Suprabhatam Shira Vishai Bhujadari Patal Pashai Sabhaktaritsadana Shai Ramanga Shai Shri Gopa Bama Mulutal Pasugadi Shai Gopa Vallavaraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapati Sukanarada Gautamani Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangavavara Tresho Tishtanti Deva Tava Darshana Bhagya Heto Gopala Sheka Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Mandara Jari Tulasi Dalamale Kadyahe Malyani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Dishtanti Dvapavadadara Dale Munindraha Dada Manoharavaye Tava Suprabhatam Vedatrayam Patati Gotama Kana Guya Gayanti Sadguna Gano Varada Samargaha Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Visheshaha Shri Naradani Rishaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhanodana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Subesha Bhavadi Pota Trailokya Mohana Sumangala Divya Deha Shri Rukmini Shavarada Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vatsya China Sharanagata Parijata Bhakarti Banjana Kripakaratina Bando Divyanta Gayati Janapriya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopatanaya Tava Suprabhatam Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya Padmalaya Sravita Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Sura Sevita Pada Padma Padmadinata Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vrindatale Viharanaya Mahendra Vandya Kanda Padarpa Haratilya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Sita Chandana Lipna Deha Govinda Yara Varaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Nanda Nandana Yashoda Kumara Dira Mayanga Dina Ravichona Supushpahara Nilam Budasa Sharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Bhasri Jambavati Satya Sugandhi Bhadra Shri Mitra Vinda Divasa Prabhu Putrika Vyahe Tishtanti Diva Bhavameta Vasevanandam Gopi Mana Priyarahe Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananda Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janarana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayuna Nishambadanti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna grahe tuka.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Lakshavriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Samrava Sevyamana Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Venum Kvananta Maravinda Dalaya Kasha Vadavatam Sadasitam Buddha Sundarandam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Alola Chandra Kala Satvana Maya Vamshi Ratnanganam Pranaya Keli Kala Vilasam Shamantri Bangala Litam Niyata Prakasham Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Palayanti Chiranjaganti Ananda Chinmaya Saujvala Vigrahasya Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Advaita Machuta Manadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanamsa Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampagamyo Vayoratabi Manaso Muni Pungavanam Sopyasti Aprabhavasinya Vichinta Tatve Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Ekopi Surya Jagitun Jagananda Kotim Yachakchirasti Jagananda Chayalanantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarasram Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Ya Bhava Bhavita Diyo Manujasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mamimasanayana Bhushaha Shuktiryameva Nigama Praditastu Vanti Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pradita Vitavis Tabirya Eva Nija Rupa Daya Kalabhi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhutto Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami
Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami
Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Idrayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundara Nachintya Guna Svarupa Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Ramadi Mutri Shukalani Amena Tishta Nanavataram Karo Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Svayam Sabhavamat Paramapumanyo Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Govinda Madi Purushanta Maham Bhajami Yasya Prabhava Bhavato Jagana विश्वशेष वसुधारि विभूति वीणा ता ब्रह्मनिष्ठमनन्त अशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि मायायि यस्य जगनन्दशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यता विषय वेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वविशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतियामनश्यु या प्राणिनां प्रतिपलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयादिजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकनम्मिनिजधम्मितले च तस्य देवी महेशा हरिदामसुतेषु तेषु ते ते प्रभावनि च या विहितस्तयेन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका चार्येव यस्य भुवनानि विभाति दुर्गा इच्छानरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टतेष्टा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि क्षीरं यदा दधि विकारविशेषयोगा सञ्जायते नैतथा प्रति अस्ति हेतो यशाम्भुतामपि तथा समुपायति कार्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपार्चि एवैदशन्तममाभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विविध हेतु समानधर्म यस्तादि एवै च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यकारनामभजने भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्त जगनन्द सरोमकूपः आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परस्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यासेकनिश्वसितकालमतावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमभिरजा जगनन्दनाथः विष्णुमहंसय्य यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि भस्मान्यतस्म सकलेषु नितेषु तेजा श्रियं क्रियापतकयत्तपि दत्त्वा अत्र ब्रह्माय एष जगदन्तविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा गान्धे प्रणामसमये सकनानि राजः विघ्नां विनान्तु मननस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मयीं गगन अम्बुमरुरिशस्य कालस्तमात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयाणि यस्मा भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलाग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्ति अशेषतेजः यस्याज्ञयां भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोदपापनिचयासु तयस्तपंसि ब्रह्मादिगीतपथगावतयश्च जीवः यदातमात्रविभवा प्रकटा प्रभावा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्तीन्द्रगोपमदीन्द्रो स्वकर्म भङ्गानरूपफलभाजमनातनोति कर्माणि ददति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं Purushantamaham bhajami. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranayani piti. Vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavahe. Sanchinta tasya samichinta mama purete. Govindamadi Purushantamaham bhajami. Govindamadi Purushantamaham bhajami. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Govindamadi Purushantamaham bhajami. Govindamadi Purushantamaham bhajami.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev, good morning. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Verse 6. This is a verse that Brahma, he says to Lord Krishna himself after the Brahma Vimohana Lila. So 1 year before, Brahma, he was trying to hide Krishna's friends, and so he took them and was hiding them in his own place, in his own Brahma Loka. And then, in order to balance the situation, Krishna, he just manifested out of himself all his friends, so nobody in the village, they noticed what was going on. And at the same time, there was something positively strange, because the children were so divine that the mothers and the parents, they were so happy with their children. And so there's different levels to that lila. And one is the curbing of the pride of Brahma. So Brahma, he was thinking that he is maybe the only Brahma in the only universe that exists, and that he knows his Lord in the best way, that he cannot be surprised. And so he was surprised, because his own Lord, he came in a form as a little blue boy, and then he was shown that there's many, many more universes with many, many more and even bigger and more powerful Brahmas than him. And so he realized that he is not the greatest, he's not the only one, and that he's actually part of a great, great organism, we can say, a great cosmic order. And so he spoke these words to Lord Krishna, and he speaks about different realizations that we can have of Lord Krishna. Tatat bibhuman mahimma gunasyate vibhotumanyatya malantarabhihi avikriyat svanubhavat arupato yananya bodhyat mataya nachanyata. He speaks, non-devotees cannot realize you in your personal feature. Nevertheless, it may be possible for them to realize your expansion as the impersonal supreme by cultivating direct perception of the self within the heart. But they cannot do this only by purifying their mind and senses of all conceptions of material distinctions and all attachment to material sense objects. Only in this way will your impersonal feature manifest itself to them. Sounds a little bit complicated. I will break it up in two parts. So essentially, he first speaks about, is it possible to realize God not following bhakti yoga, let's say. So he says to be a devotee of God. And to be a devotee of God essentially means you want to love and serve him, and God is the reason of your existence and the object of all your striving. So he's everything for you. That's actually a devotee. So he says if you're not choosing to be a devotee of God, then you cannot really realize him. He says you can realize yourself. For example, you over many lives, you are maintaining to be a good person, you stay away from evil, you have principles, you have been tested through tough situations, and you have always sticked, let's say, to a very good moral code, then at some point you might realize that you are love. And as we learn in the book of Tadatmya Vedanta, it is possible to go there with our own effort. So you have a sattvic behavior, you have a good behavior, and I would even say maybe you don't even have to believe in God, because maybe some atheists, they are also very good people, but they don't believe in God. So there is potential to realize yourself. And so Brahma says this, it is possible to do that even as a devotee, that we realize, okay, I am love. Then he goes one step further and he says, being a devotee, but not engaging in bhakti yoga, let's say you become interested in God, then there is a certain realization of God's emanation. Yeah, in a technical term we call that Brahmanubhava. So you realize that it's not only you who exists as a self, but you are part of a bigger scheme. Just like Brahma, you realize he's not the only person who exists, but there's many other Brahmas in greater places with greater power and duties, actually. So with Brahmanubhava, what happens is, as he says, by purification we realize that everything is pervaded, let's say. I always give the example, Guruji is standing in the puja kitchen, but you cannot see him, but you feel he's there. You feel he's there. And this is not imagination, so it is clear that when he is there, you feel he's there. Because he might just sit in his chair, but you cannot see him, but the vibration comes over here, and there is a different energy. So this is, let's say, a taste of Brahmanubhava, where you are actually always aware that everything is pervaded by him. And what Brahma doesn't say in this verse, but what actually the Bhagavatam is about, is the third one that we qualify as, let's say, God realization, Tadatmya Anubhava, where you actually not only feel the emanation of him, but you meet him. As simple as it is, you meet him. And Guruji often says, this is not something easy to do. It may look simple. Let's say Guruji is around us and it is possible to be with him. And that doesn't mean you always have to be physically with him, because we distinguish, you have the Bhagavat realization, then you have the indweller realization, and you have the total realization. How he is, let's say, playing with us here in the ashram. He doesn't have to be here physically, he's now in Mexico, and yet he continues to play with all of us. So this is a little bit of a taste of Parabrahman realization. So the point is to relate with him personally. It's not just to feel him, it's not just to know that he exists, but the point is now to relate to him and to enter into this relationship with the Supreme. So this is, let's say, to qualify a little bit the verse where we're coming from. And I wanted to go a little bit into a direction where it's actually the root, the point. Guruji, long time ago in a satsang, when we were still in the smaller room up there in the light hall, he gave a satsang and he says, devotion takes root in the mind. Now at that time we thought the mind is only what you think, etc. We didn't know so much what is the complete system of antakarana. But he said devotion first takes root in the mind. It's not what we feel, but it's what we want, essentially. And what we think. And into which direction we are driving our thoughts. And that is a very subtle science, no? I think more and more we become able to feel the Antakarana, to become aware of which thoughts we are having, and we are also learning to drive them in a certain way. Ideally, at some point in the future, we are driving them exclusively towards the feet of the Lord, and they are not diverting anymore at all. But I'm saying this because it might still sound very much abstract and even strange to most of the devotees. What is the science of Bhakti Yoga? Of course, you have 9 forms of Bhakti, Navada Bhakti, and we are practicing all these things. But on the level of real Bhakti, let's say you take a saint like Mirabai or like Kabir, they at some point transcend a certain outside convention, but what they are absolute masters at, in a very natural and sweet way, they are driving their thoughts always to the Lord. So they have realized this Tadatmi Anubhava, this conquest of the pleasure center, as Guruji would say, is to conquer this pleasure center, which is the Antakarana. And they are actually really masters at that science of Bhakti Yoga. I always say in a way that we should not confuse Bhakti Yoga with throwing the flowers only, but it is really what we think and what thoughts we have while throwing the flowers. So yes, we are going the way of Bhakti Yoga, and we are starting with this practice of Navada Bhakti, and it leads us from a lower to a higher Bhakti. And it is really to bring closer a little bit the workings of the mind, because the mind is very subtle. And to engage with this path more and more and more, at least to my experience, is what we do in the mind, what we do with the mind, that's already happening. Guruji said, when he opens his darshans, he said, make a prayer and it's already happening. Yeah, so I would also, let's say, reformulate a little bit to whatever we think of, whatever is really in our antakarana, whatever is really in our inner mind, that's already happening. And we can't avoid it. So how to access this? How to work with this? There have been approaches, let's say, where you put an image in the mind. So you are recognizing that the mind is working with images. It's more like a huge gallery of impressions, and each impression has a certain vibration. So if you put a different image, then the whole vibration of the antakarana will change. And so a central teaching in Bhakti Yoga, which is also connected to Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, it's like this kingly yoga, is you put the feet of the Supreme Lord, a picture of the Supreme Lord, into the mind, and then it will go into that direction. So this is the science why we are also worshipping, let's say, murtis, personifications, and why Lord Krishna, he left this unique position of him. You know, he's standing in the what is called the tripent pose, so the feet are in a very specific position. He has the flute, and that is already very much easy to put into the mind. So this is a reason for driving the mind, to get the thoughts under control. A powerful tool is also, I think what Guruji often says, to observe. So observation is a great tool to get the mind under control, actually, because the mind has to change. So Krishna says it has the outset of an enemy, so it sneaks in the least expected situation, and it can destroy a lot of things. And it comes in a surprising and a cunning way. So it is hiding. And the observation is to look what we are doing, is to not judge what we are doing. Let's say you have bad thoughts, etc. But the observation is a very powerful tool to observe what you're thinking and what you're doing, and that's it. It's not to push you, it's not to make you a better person, it's not to change you, it's not to punish you, it's not to judge you, but observation alone. So if we can observe, for example, that every day I have good or bad thoughts into a certain direction, then at some point, automatically, it will change. That's the science. So if you look in quantum physics, for example, they have a law that when you have a small quantum system, how it's called, it's like super small particles that you can only see under, I don't know, a super microscope. So, but the point that they found is, it's not only that it exists by itself, but if you look at it, if you observe it, it starts already moving in its own new ways. So this is very, very powerful. Let's say you're struggling with something, then how we are used, and maybe also by influence of our European church background, and you grow up in a family where people judge you, etc. But to come back to a point where you are actually really only observing. And when you're really able to do that, the thing will automatically, at some point, it wants to move on. So putting the image of the lotus feet of God in the mind and observation, these are very, very good tools, let's say, where we're coming from. I wanted to give you 3 more mind models today, and you may choose them or not choose them, but I think it's worth knowing them, and they are very simple, and they might save you in this or other situation. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, verse 34, Krishna says the mind is very restless and turbulent. And Arjuna, he says, but how to get it under control? It is more powerful, like it's easier to get the wind under control, essentially, you know. And that's true, because it is very elusive. The mind is not something that you can, let's say, grab with your hands and you put it in a shelf. It's not something that you can easily interact with. But you can. You can. So it is, let's say, by practice of Atma Kriya Yoga that you become aware what you're actually feeling. It becomes concrete for you. Let's say with diligent practice and how we work here is not only that you, I think everyone here or in Bhakti Marga, you're not only relating to what you see outside, but there's much more going on, much more going on, always at any moment, be it verbal, non-verbal communication, what is the mood in the room, etc., etc. So we are actually trained to operate in these levels, and that's important to actually access and work with the Antakarana, you know, which then leads to Bhakti Yoga. So before I present to you these 3 mind models, which I think are very useful, there's another classic way to do it, is to engage in the path. So is that even like you don't like what I say now, this is too abstract for me, the classic rule in Bhakti Marga, I think, is engage in the path. You know, we have now, okay, start singing, you start chanting, you start to read a book, you engage, you show your commitment and you make an effort, and this is always rewarded by Guruji, always rewarded. And as we see later here, as I want to explain, it's not only rewarded in a simple way, but in an exponential way, you know. So if we make a simple effort, which is sincere from the heart, even you're not good at something, but you show in some way that you actually care and that you're actually serious about this path, Guruji will always support and reward us, you know. And if that is not there, then I think no profit will come from that. But it is a very simple, no-brainer rule to engage in this path. And by engaging in this path, the doors will open and the path will actually unfold. Otherwise, it will not unfold. So, for example, what I just talked about, these subtle material regions, like exploring the Antakarana and concretely work with the Antakarana. This is a very abstract thing. You can only go there by actually engaging in the path and then making it happen. Otherwise, it will not be shown to us, you know. Okay, satsang could be closed at this point. Still, I want to give you the 3 mind models, which I think are really useful. So the first one is called inversion. And inversion means you do it the opposite way. So for example, instead of asking yourself, how can I succeed on this path? You ask yourself, how would I fail on this path? And I've mentioned this before in the satsang, and it at first impression it might be strange and dangerous to ask this question. But maybe take a moment now, and also the listener online, ask yourself how, in quotation marks, how you would fail on this path. And then probably you will get a clear answer. You get a very exact answer, and you know that's your enemy. So with inversion, it's much easier and much more exact and accurate to know how to navigate. Because if you ask yourself, how can I succeed in this path? You say, I have to be diligent, I have to be this, I have to be that. And you try to build up a great personality. You try to be the best devotee, etc. And that might paradoxically not lead to so much success. But inversion would ask, how can I fail on this path? And what would have to happen that I actually really screw up? And then you might receive the answer, actually, I'm too lazy. Or, actually, I'm not interested. Or, I'm too arrogant. So you get a pinpoint, and you really see what's your enemy. And then the inversion says, avoid that. So you know exactly who's your enemy, and then instead of becoming a great, great person, you just try to not make that mistake. You just try not to be arrogant. You just try not to be lazy. You just try to be interested. Yeah, so inversion has been used by great personalities in the world in all fields of jobs, actually. And the basic rule behind it is that you don't try to be extremely good at something, and this is not how you win, but you just never lose, because you know who's your enemy. So this is the law of inversion, and maybe a good example for this in our Bhakti Shastra would be Prahlad. Because Prahlad, he was surrounded by demons. You know, he was born in a demonic family, he was in kindergarten, in the Gurukul, he was always in demonic company, yet he had this spark in the teaching, the essence of Narada in him. Yeah? But essentially, as an example, he would always left and right see how to do it wrong. Because being in the demonic environment, you know, he actually every day he could see how not to do it. Yeah? So this is maybe not for him because he's a special personality, but for many of us, this is also a good example how not to do it. And then you simply avoid that because you know what's your enemy. And like this, you will be very stable and successful. And it's not an abstract thing. You can actually bet on it, you know, because you know exactly what you're doing. So that's the law of inversion. The second is what we call opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is actually from finance, but you can apply it as a mind model in all areas. And it says, however you're using your time, you either have a double win or a double lose. And that's true. For example, take a moment where you're wasting your time. So I wasted my time, no, not yesterday, but maybe a week ago. So, and I was watching how Guruji says, don't watch reels. So, boom, 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 I was on YouTube and I watched good things, but then I watched something where afterwards I really regretted. You know, even if it's 2 minutes time, you just wasted, it's gone. So opportunity cost, it says, whatever you want to do, check first if there's something better which you would be losing at the same time. That means we are watching something on YouTube or we are wasting our time in gossiping, you're sitting at the wrong table, you're spending time with not the ideal person, wasting time worshipping problems and desires. So it's not only that you receive the bad effect of that, but opportunity cost says you're also at the same time missing the good thing. So you're losing double. So at the same time, how you could sit with the right people, or how you could chant the name of God for 2 minutes and not waste your time gossiping, etc., etc. So opportunity cost says, whatever we are doing, it has a double effect. So when we're doing something bad, you have the effect of the bad and you lose the good. So it's a double loss. And when we're doing something good, you have the effect of the good, and at the same time you're avoiding the bad, you have a double win. This is how you become successful. Yeah? And I was thinking, who might be a great personality of this? And it came to my mind that actually Arjuna, before the Mahabharata war, there's this famous scene how he went to Lord Krishna and he was sitting at the feet waiting for Lord Krishna to wake up. And also Duryodhana was there in his arrogant way. He was standing at the head of Krishna, and both were waiting to wake up. So Duryodhana was there to ask for the army, and we know what happened. It was like a double loss. He lost God and the war. And Arjuna, he was actually in a moment of humility. No, he was not always that humble, but in that moment he was humble. And he was sitting at the feet and really waiting for Krishna to wake up. Krishna saw him first, and then he asked, "What do you want?" And this was a good example of a double win, because he chose God and he won the war. So we have two. The first one is the inversion law, the second is the opportunity cost, and the third one is actually also from partially investing and also other areas, is called compounding. So this is a math principle where you don't grow linear, but you grow in an exponential way. And this is so true for Bhakti Marga, I would say, because I've seen so many people here making a small but sincere effort, and their skill or their ability has grown exponentially. It doesn't make sense anymore, because the person doesn't have time to be so good, doesn't have time to practice that much, doesn't have the time to rehearse that much. But what you see, and I think what Guruji sees there, is that person has really taken it seriously and made a small effort in the way they can, because we don't have time here. In Bhakti Marga, we generally don't have time. But Guruji always looks at the time that you still have. So even if you have 30 minutes free per day, how to use that time. So what I've seen, for example, Swami Trambakeshwari, she once said that also, she just played a little bit the mridanga just to support a little bit the prayers. But then suddenly it just came, she just can't play, you know? She can just play. And there's so many other, let's say, miracles that I see in Bhakti Marga that are connected to this. So especially with Guruji, I would say, making a small effort leads to not linear, but to exponential growth. And this is what we call compounding, that a little effort over time at some point will lead to exponential growth. It's not like, okay, every day 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. No, but it leads to 10 multiplied by 10, multiplied by 10, multiplied by 10. And this is really what I've seen, and it very much corresponds to what Krishna says in the Gita, 1 out of a million out of a million. So if a person really invests his or her love into this path, then effort leads to grace. Effort leads to grace. And the grace is always exponential. And I think you see it often. For example, some people never are or travel with Guruji, and some people are always travel with Guruji, or at least very, very often, you know. Some people, they do their practices regularly. They just every day study a little bit. And after some time, you really see it compounding. You know, I remember one time Rishi Anandajita, a couple of years ago in the old temple, he was starting to play mridanga. You know, and he was starting in a very simple way, you know. And I asked him, wow, it's amazing to get started. And he says, yeah, I only have 15 minutes per day. The rest of the day he was busy, you know. And he was doing it while he was chanting mantra for the deities. So he started, you know, and now he's such a great mridanga player. He's teaching, etc. So I think this is really worth to look at, that And I would even push it further that in Bhakti it must be compounding, otherwise it will not work. So when you do Satyanarayan Puja, there's a story of Kevat. You know, Kevat is a great devotee of Lord Ram. And it's said that just by the simple act of washing the feet of Lord Ram in a very sincere and simple way, even a little bit awkward way, but Ram was extremely pleased by him in that little moment, and all the sins of all the lives have been washed away, and he gained the total company of Lord Ram. You know, it's not like he practiced for, I don't know, many lives, and then at some point he reached, but there was a certain impulse, a spontaneous true love in him that went into a specific situation, and that small situation brought out everything. Guruji often says that as well. It's not like, yes, we have to be consistent, but the true grace will flow in a moment of spontaneous and natural giving ourselves, you know, and that will lead to everything. Yeah, so these are the models. Let's say I repeat from what we had previously, to put the image of God in the mind, then to I forgot. Anyway, put the feet of the Lord in the mind. And then the 1, 2, 3 principles here. The first one is inversion. So you're asking the opposite. Then you know who's your enemy, and then you avoid that. And then the second is opportunity cost. So whatever we are doing, you're always either double winning or double losing. And the third one is compounding, that effort will lead to a certain potential. And when we keep on that sincere effort, it will lead to a grace which is not linear, but actually exponential. Thanks for listening. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada la da da jine. 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 Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. 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 Shilatankanakaraye. 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 Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Yato yato ya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Swarupa, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Swarupa, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Sri Vishwananda Gurudev, 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev, Vishwananda Gurudev, 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 Sri 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 Vishwananda Gurudev, 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev. Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Yatiraja Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Yatiraja Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me, Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me, Prapati Dharmikarataya Mangala Mangala Me, Prapati Dharmikarataya Mangala Mangala Me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Yatiraja Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Yatiraja Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me, Saligrama Pratishtitaya Mangala Mangala Me, Saligrama Pratishtitaya Mangala Mangala Me, Tridandadharine Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala Me, Tridandadharine Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala Me, Ramanuja, Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Mangala Mangala Me Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke Sankata Dasa Jano ke Sankata Jana me dura kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Jo Jave Palapave Dukkha Binase Manaka Swami Dukkha Binase Manaka Sukha Sampati Garave Sukha Sampati Garave Ashtami Te Tanaka Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Tuma Mere Sharananga Ume Kisaki Swami Sharananga Ume Kisaki Tuma Bina Ora Naduja Tuma Bina Ora Naduja Ashakarume Kisaki Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tuma Purana Paramatma Tuma Antarayami Swami Tuma Antarayami Para Brahma Parameshwar Para Brahma Parameshwar Tuma Sabake Swami Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tuma Karuna Ke Sagara Tuma Palana Karata Swami Tuma Palana Karata Main Sevaka Tuma Swami Main Sevaka Tuma Swami Kripa Karo Bharata Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tuma Oeka Gochara Sabake Pranapati Swami Sabake Pranapati Kisa Vidi Minundaya Maya Kisa Vidi Minun Kripamaya Tuma Kome Kumati Om Jai Jagadish Hare Dina Bandhu Dukkha Harata Tumara Shaka Mere Swami Tumara Shaka Mere Karuna Hata Badao Karuna Hata Badao Sharana Paratere Om Jai Jagadish Hare Vishaya Vikara Mitao Paparo Deva Swami Paparo Deva Shraddha Bhakti Badao Shraddha Prema Badao Santana Ki Seva Om Jai Jagadish Hare Dana Mana Dana Sabha Hentera Swami Sabha Kucha Hentera Swami Sabha Kucha Hentera Tera Tuchko Arpana Tera Tuchko Arpana Kya Lage Mera Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke Sankata Dasa Jano ke Sankata Jana me dura kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mane Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Mane Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Chakare Rako Chakare Rako Chakare Rakoji Chakare Rako Chakare Rako Chakare Rakoji Mane Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Shyama Mane Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Govinda Mane Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Lala Chakare Rakoji Giridhari Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormam Amritangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Principalo Shri Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki Mavatara Kriya Babaji ki Shri Ramanujacharya ki Principalo Satguru Deva Shri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki. Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Paraya Paramapurushaya Parakarma Mantra Yantra Tantra Oshada Sachastrani Samara Samara Mochar Mochar Mochar. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Dipti Jwala Pritaya Sarvari Shobha Umpat Parashmane Prabramane Prajyotishe Swaha. Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Venkateramana Govinda, Gopika Jimana Smarana Govinda, Bhakta Vatsala Govinda, Govinda Govinda Govinda, Pundalika Varade, Eknath Namdev, Panda